Live there. So today we are talking about the Cybertruck, right?
Yes, we are going to talk about a Cybertruck, but not like everybody's doing it. I know on every YouTube video right now, there is a Cybertruck, but we are going to talk about the business behind the Cybertruck, Tesla, and the CEO behind the Cybertruck, Elon Musk. We have a lot of things to learn here. If you are following this channel, you know we talk about money, how to make money, and businesses, right?
Regarding the whole Cybertruck thing, right? This whole week I watched MKBHD review of the car, and to be honest with you, I watched the first video when the car was released back in 2019, I believe, and I forgot about it completely.
Right.
And by watching Joe Rogan's podcast, I think few weeks ago.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't know whether this was like a very old episode, but
Nope.
Elon Musk was on.
Literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. They were talking about the car and, they were hyping it up and etc. And then I just thought, will we ever see this car? And then boom, this week, the car was announced and, the shape is just amazing. The shape looks really, really nice. And the wheel as well. I found the wheel to be really, really strange. And it can't turn like 360, so that's very, very strange. I don't know how people will be driving, that thing. It just looked like very futuristic, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's about the look of the car. I don't know what you think of it.
You're completely right. And this is, I would say, one of the best product launches in a very long time.
Why are you saying that?
Just think of when the iPhone was launched, right? This almost has the same feeling about it. Everybody's talking about it. MKHB video has been on for less than 24 hours. It now has 7 million views. Okay.
Jesus, that's right. MKBHG is making money, man.
Right. So anybody, like all the car review YouTubers are making at least 1 million views on any Cybertruck videos that they're making. Okay.
Wow.
This is a very good product launch without any real marketing. One thing I want to let the audience know is Tesla doesn't do any marketing. They don't pay for advertising.
Wait, sorry. So, when you guys do your Super Bowl and stuff, and like driving throughout the US, don't you have like billboards with Tesla? Don't you see? Really?
Yep.
Okay.
There's nothing like that. They don't pay for advertising.
Okay. I mean, he can still use Twitter though. He owns Twitter, right?
But think about it before Twitter. Right?
Yeah, good
before
point.
Twitter, he was one of the best-selling electric cars before he bought Twitter. Now, the only cars that are really competing with Tesla are in China, and that is for the Chinese market, not in the US, not in Europe. Tesla is selling more than everyone else. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, on that, right, what I would say is that, do you know that the share of like Tesla in EVs has been dropping in the past few quarters?
That's just normal. It's normal because when you start, you have the first mover advantage on something. With time, the competition is going to grow and you are going to lose market share. That is normal, right? But now you really have to compete, right? Which brings us to the Cybertruck. Right? How many car manufacturers are going to go to that extreme to compete? This is the real question.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about like the marketing point. Do you know what's the average of like marketing budget for like, the car industry? Like, let's say the BMWs, the Porsche, the, Audi, etc. Can you guess a percentage?
I think most of their money goes into marketing, right? I don't know, but
it's 5%. So 5% of in the automotive industry is just 5%. Okay. But imagine, right? Tesla, their revenue is what, 80 billion?
Okay.
5% of that is like 4 billion, and this guy is saving 4 billion. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money, yeah.
Right? That's a lot of money. But even just leave that out, right? Let's go back to how the product was launched. They first started by building a demo product, right? They built a first version of this Cybertruck. They showed it off. People were excited, and they were like, a lot of people hated it. Even I was like, what is that? It's this boxy thing. It looks like a fridge, and I was like, okay, whatever. And a couple of years passed, people were saying, hey, he's never going to deliver this truck. All these things were coming out. And all of a sudden, this month, we saw Joe Rogan shooting an arrow towards the car.
Exactly.
That is really good marketing. He went on Joe Rogan. This is how he's doing it, right? First of all, he's very active on Twitter. And this is something that a lot of CEOs need to learn. The way he is running his business, right? That's where the real innovation is. Because most people, right, are running their businesses the way everybody is running their businesses, right? All of us, right? We have developed this mental block, I would say, right? We look at other people, they are running their business in a certain way. We copy them and we do exactly what they're doing. When the CEO doesn't really talk with the customers, they have teams to do that. This is the complete opposite with Tesla and in everything that Elon Musk is doing. He is on Twitter every day, being the champion of the product, basically talking directly to customers, updating them in real time what is happening and everything. Let's just forget the fact that he owns Twitter, but he was doing this way before he bought the company. Okay. That alone shows you that the way he approaches running a company is completely different from the status quo, right? And that's something you need to learn from. Whenever you are starting your own business or you are working on anything, you have to think like, what perception have I kind of made up in my mind of how things are done? And I'm limiting myself to just do them that way. Because it's very easy to convince yourself that this is the way, but this is not your own thought, right? You have to think and you have to make your own thought about how things are done. And Steve Jobs has this beautiful quote that everything you see around you has been built or created by people who are no smarter than you, right? And when you are doing something and you are just copying others without having to sit and think for yourself and come up with, I'm not saying you should invent something, but just question, this is the tradition. This is what everybody's doing. Is this the only way to do it? This is a question you should be asking yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it comes to the Cybertruck. You've seen all the trucks. Rivian, and I was actually thinking of buying one of these. This Rivian.
Which one?
Not the truck, but the SUV. Rivian has an SUV. I think it's about like 100K, I think. But it has like, because I have a big family and I want a car that can kind of carry everyone around. So I was thinking of buying one of these, not the truck, the Rivian
I think it's
SUV.
R1S or something.
Yeah, R1S, yeah. And so I was doing a couple of research on this, and then I saw the Cybertruck and I was like, okay, this is like, you can carry your family around in this, but that's not the whole the point. The point I'm trying to make is this: Rivian has a little bit of a different design from the other trucks. The lights in front of the cars, some things here and there are different, but it doesn't take it all the way like the Tesla SUV, the Model X wings.
Okay. Is it X or Y?
No, X.
Is one of them anyway.
The Model X, which is an SUV with
X,
the wings, right? One thing that Elon Musk is doing here that maybe some people are not seeing. I'm sure a lot of people who are interested in this already know this, but this is what you have to learn. The product itself is marketing itself by building something that is unexpected, right? Because everybody is supposed to just copy the next person and do exactly the same thing and try to sell. But that's not what he's doing.
Do you know what? I totally agree with you, right? In the car industry, right, it's a little bit tricky because if you are building cars, what they do is that they build like a platform,
right?
And they use one platform to build many cars.
Right.
So to build a platform is a lot of investment. So it's a lot of capex. So you can't just be switching things around. So that's why in the car industry, you tend to see all the cars are literally the same. So if you see, if you look at, let's say which brand, I think Volkswagen. So their family brand is also Audi, I believe. And those cars, they are very similar. Right. They are like very, very similar because they are built on the same platform. It's the same for the Lamborghini and then another car. But basically, the capex is very, very huge there. So that's why you tend to see like a lot of similarity in those cars. But what you are saying is very, very right. When you are coming into an industry, it's very, very good to kind of just be innovative and think out of the box and come with something really, really new. One thing I would say as well is that for Elon Musk, right, what you see in the automotive industry usually is that you see beautiful concept cars. I mean, back when I was home in Togo, right, I had like some of those concept car as my desktop picture, so like the wallpaper and all those things, because they look so amazing. But I mean, they can make them, but I don't know, they are so conservative and they don't want to take that step, right? So you just have like tons of concept car from, I don't know, BMW, Porsche, or Audi, and etc. But they never crossed that line. And Elon Musk came, and everybody thought that, in 2019, that this Cybertruck was going to be, just a concept car. Because most of these kind of, if you go to like the kind of, how do they call it in English? In French, it's like Salon des Voitures, where they expose like cars. I think they do it in the US as well. They do it in Switzerland here. They do it in many of these countries. So if you go there, you'll see like tons of concept cars. Right. So basically, nobody was expecting this to be like reality, but now here it is. And if you check on the website, you can even order it. So yeah, I think that's very exciting.
And what you just said, you just kind of proved my point, right? That these other manufacturers are not in the business of innovation. They are not in the business of kind of doing this, following the status quo, right? And that's the whole thing. And this brings us to the main point of this video, the iPhone model, right? What is the iPhone model? When Steve Jobs built the iPhone, he thought, okay, we are not just going to build the iPhone. We are going to own everything around the iPhone. So how you fix your iPhone after you buy it, if your iPhone has any issues, if you need it serviced, you have to go back to Apple. You don't have to, but Apple has a chokehold on that. They've set up a whole process, a whole system around the iPhone. You have the Apple Store. You have the App Store for downloading the app, right? When you go to the Apple Store, you want to change your battery, change your iPhone, whatever. You can do that in the Apple Store. Apple decide what you install on the iPhone or not. Security updates, software updates when it's needed. Is kind of a closed system, but the experience within that system is very difficult to duplicate, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at any other Android brand, they don't offer these services, right? And the fact that everything is in-house, the continuity between your Mac laptop and your iPhone is an experience that people who don't own our iPhones will never live. Like, they don't know how it feels when you start typing something on your iPhone and you can complete it on your Mac without any effort. Like, it's crazy, right?
Do you know what's the right word for that? Is ecosystem. So the goal for Steve Jobs, right, is to build an ecosystem where when you are in, you are not getting out. Like, he is going to offer everything to suit you.
Exactly.
And going back a little bit, right? If you think about the Elon Musk and the Steve Jobs, those are the people that some will call like level 5 leaders. And before we were talking also about making like something bold or innovative in the automotive industry, and really these leaders, that's what they do, that's what they are good at. Like, they will come into an industry and they will make something very, very bold that's going to drive their company's value to the top. And a good example of like a guy that I came across as well, I don't know if you know the company Kimberly-Clark.
They are the
owner of Kleenex. So the Kleenex that everybody used, the toilet paper and those things. Back like in the 90s, or I think it's in the 80s, right? They sold their mills. So they use mills to make papers, right? So they are a paper company. And this CEO came and he was like, guys, paper is not going to be the future. consumer goods is going to be the future. Let's sell our paper kind of manufacturing capability. Everybody was like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? And whatever. And this guy managed to turn this company into like billion dollars of company, of sales and worth. So yeah, that's about like the whole kind of level 5 leaders, like the leaders that are very, very good. And, that comes into industries and companies and, they really change everything.
I think you brought a very good point where someone came and they were bold enough, right? And they did all these things. And if we look at Tesla and what they've built as an ecosystem, right? They've built their cars, they've built the charging network. Because when they were building the car, right? Where were you going to charge?
Exactly.
It wasn't there. The infrastructure wasn't there, right? So they built the charging network. They made sure that they were building a car that can be updated over the air. Basically, if you have an issue with the car, we'll just send you an update. You don't need to come to the shop. Not only that, if your car had an issue, they are technician. You just call them. They show up where you are and they fix your car. Or you bring it to they own everything. They don't have a third party selling their cars. You go to the website, you buy your car. Every aspect of the experience of the ecosystem is handled by them. But it's not over, right? The personality of Elon Musk has made this all possible, right? Where I remember when they were having like a difficult time with money, they were scared that they were going to go bankrupt. He posted something on Twitter about how he drank so many Tesla tequilas, right? And a couple of months later, right, they launched this alcohol.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, there is a test. You can Google it right now. There is a Tesla tequila, right? A lot of fans who are just fans of the person, the brand, and everything, they bought it like in a couple of hours. They were out of stock. That's not the first and last time. The next product was Tesla short shorts.
What? I just checked the price. This is expensive. I'm seeing 2,000.
Those are resellers, by the way, because now this is like a cultural product now, because it's no longer on the market, but people who have it is like a collectible,
Yeah, got you.
So the other thing they sold was Tesla short. A lot of people on Wall Street, right? They were betting against Tesla. They thought, whenever you are being innovative, a lot of people are going to tell you, man, you are not going to be able to do this. And this carried over to the stock market. All these people were shorting the Tesla stock. But given that Elon Musk was this very forward-looking person, he's also a very good salesperson, right? With all his memes that he was throwing on Twitter. He has a large following. So people believed in him. Due to that, people were just buying the stock. And every company, every hedge fund that shorted stock, the Tesla stock, regretted it. They all lost money. So they lost so much money that he launched this short just to make fun of them. And he sold out in a couple of hours. Now again, whenever he's doing this, people think, it's just to make noise. No. This is the marketing that he's doing for his company. And whenever this marketing, he's making money out of the marketing itself, raising money for his company to do other things in the company. So the Tesla tequila, they sold out. He raised a bunch of money, put it back in the company. The short, same thing. Even another example, he has another company called the Boring Company. And I'm sure you remember this. They were selling a flamethrower. I don't know if you remember this. It's like a gun that throws fire, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
same playbook. He was just raising money for the company. But he's just a great salesman. And he knows how to get people excited about the product. And how can you tell? Look at the product that he's delivering. They are not just something boring like the next Toyota Corolla that you are going to see, right? It is there is always something that will catch people's attention. Model X, wings. Who is thinking about having wings on their car, right? He did it. It takes Tesla Cybertruck itself is a product that is self-marketing, man. The product can market itself. Just driving it around, a lot of people are going to turn their head and be like, I want that car. I just want to sit in that car. And that is the lesson to learn here about marketing.
Do you know, you are totally right. I'll give you that. What I want us to do now, right, is to do like a little bit of exercise on how much, because I thought about how much, what's the name? Elon Musk is going to be making with this car, right? With this new Cybertruck. And, you know, in the US now, I mean, globally now, right, there are around, in terms of like cars sold, pickup car sales, you know, in 2023, this is estimated at around like 3.6 million in 2023. So that's the number of pickups that are going to be sold in the world. So if you think of Elon Musk and his Cybertruck, I mean, the cheapest one basically is like $660K. I believe that in terms of like, let's think of like the share of electric cars, right, in, you know, the cars that are sold like globally. So in Europe, I know it's 15%. So if you take like 15% of the 3.6 million, I think you have something around like 540,000 cars. So that's like the number of pickup cars that, you know, that would be like electric cars that you will be selling like globally, right?
Right.
And those are like the electric one.
Right.
So if you were to say that the market share of Tesla out of, you know, all the electric cars, I think I told you before that was like 50%. Before it was like 60, but it decreased to 50 now. So 50% of, you know, 550, let's say, is just 250 cars.
Right.
250,000 cars. That's the kind of, you know, sales. And if you were to multiply that by the 60K USD, that's like 15 billion.
Right.
So he will be making around like, in terms of like sales, if they were able to, you know, they are able to deliver, you know, around 250K cars, 250,000 cars in 2023, in 2024, sorry, that's going to be like 15 billion. And I believe, you know, Tesla's margin, like gross margin, is like 25%. That's what I saw on their kind of P&L, their profit and loss account.
Right.
And, you know, if you were to take, you know, the quarter of that 15 billion, that's like what? That's like 4 billion, 3.8 billion, 4 billion.
Right.
USD. So that's a good money.
Yeah, if you compare that to the margin of the other automakers, they are not making that.
No.
Most of them are not making that because they have old processes. Their processes are not sustained or sustainable to make high margin, right?
Yeah.
Tesla makes their own batteries. They make almost everything about their cars. They don't have other people. They don't depend a lot on other manufacturers to make their own cars.
Yeah.
So they have control over that. They have control over their destiny. And again, this goes back to the Apple comparison, the iPhone comparison, right?
Yeah.
So
let me ask you a question. Do you know how much or how many, you know, basically the sales or the revenue that Apple got in 2007 when they launched their first, you know, iPhone?
Go ahead.
It was $630 million. That's what they sold. We are comparing this to like a 15 billion. So this is way bigger than, you know.
No, but I'm talking about margin, right? You have to think about the cost to produce the car.
I agree.
The cost to produce the iPhone compared to
I agree.
The Cybertruck is very different.
I don't know the margin. I didn't check the margin on like
I don't know
iPhones.
the margin either, but from what I know is that it's way higher than any traditional automaker. Right.
No. I'm sorry. I think you got me wrong. I was talking about the iPhone. So I don't know the margin of the iPhone or Apple. But I think, I mean, just thinking about it, I know that now there is not much money on like phone making though, because everybody else has kind of caught up, and you just need to find other ways to sell the phone. But if you take like the sales of, you know, the iPhone back then, 2007, 630 million. I don't know, let's say even if it's like, I don't know, let's say half of it, it's still nothing compared to like the 4 billion that, you know, he can probably make out of.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
600 million in that was what year?
Yeah, inflation, right?
Exactly. Just multiply that by maybe 10. That's 6
yeah,
billion.
yeah. So yeah, we I mean, it's almost the same thing, right?
It's almost the same.
Yeah, it's almost the same thing. Yeah. I forgot the inflation there, but yeah, that's a lot of money, really. It's a lot of money.
Now, I guess we can go into what all of us can learn from this, right? When you are trying to start a business, okay? Usually, we tend to copy others. That's standard. Like, everybody who is starting a business today, I will not tell you, go and invent something. It's too hard. Okay? But you can copy, even the Mac, right? It was copied from some other people at Xerox Park, right? So,
do you know, let me just add one thing there.
Sure.
So there is one guy that said, the innovator never make it. It's the one that follows that make it. So if you take all the big inventions, like the light, for example, the guy that started the whole thing wasn't there. Edison just came and finished the work, basically. It's the same for everything. Everything. If you think about Windows, at the beginning, Windows wasn't big at all. It was like HP, I believe, that was like heavy. They were very, very good. And for some reason, Windows managed to kind of wiggle through. And then, yeah. So, I mean, you should be innovative, but yeah, you should be very opportunistic as well.
There is this other quote that I want people to hear from Pablo Picasso.
Okay.
Good artists borrow, great artists steal.
Exactly. We steal in what?
Right? So the whole point of this discussion is this. Nobody's saying you should go out and reinvent the wheel, basically, right? But you can make a wheel that is better than the current wheel. You can make a wheel that, I don't know, turns faster, never gets a hole in it, that kind of thing. You are still solving a problem, but you don't have to start from scratch. That's basically what we are saying.
Yeah.
Now, you have to be innovative enough to bring, even if it's just one feature, to whatever you are building, whatever you are stealing, right? Even if it's just one feature that will dazzle people, that will make people think like, oh man, I've never thought about it that way. Or even people going, that is never going to work. Maybe that's what you should do.
Yeah.
Because we all doubted that this car will make it.
True.
We all did. And here we are.
Yeah, I mean, on my side, right, what I will say is that everything is all about selling. The pitch that you have is all. I was talking about, I believe, HP and I think it's HP and Windows back then. I think I got that from a book actually, and I believe that Windows pitch was what made the difference. And in reality, HP's HP's computer were better than Windows computer back then. But they managed to come up with a pitch that was very simple,
right,
and very, very attractive. Just like the pitch was making people say, wow, this is nice. This is going to improve, what we do. This is going to add value to what we do. While HP was just, hanging around with their very, very techie laptop and techie computer, and just they were not doing a great job at selling it. And, after a few years, they were not there anymore.
Right.
So it's all about selling, being out there. Being on Twitter, for example, you need to be there more. I'm talking to myself here, but yeah.
You are completely right, because it doesn't matter how good of a product you have. If someone is able to sell a crappier product than you, then it doesn't matter how good your product is, right? A lot of people were talking about, the Tesla Cybertruck, it has all these issues. You can't really open the door. It doesn't have a handle to open the door. Some of the lines on the car are crooked. There are too much gaps on edges on the car. The car is there was all this criticism. But at the end of the day, here we are, where people are more excited. And if you are able to get people being more excited by a product that is not 100% perfect than a product that is 100% perfect, but people are not excited about it, which product do you think is going to sell more? I'm asking you as the viewer, right? Which product do you think is gonna sell more? Is the product that get people more excited? That's it.
Just one last question for you. Are you buying a Cybertruck? I need to know. Do you want to get one?
Like I said before, I have a big family, so all of them cannot fit in the Cybertruck. But you when I make a little bit more of money, I'll probably buy one.
Okay. I mean, in Europe here, there is no road. I mean, in the UK, the roads are so narrow. A Cybertruck wouldn't even fit, right? It doesn't even worth it trying that here. But yeah, cool guys. Yeah, that's it. That's a wrap.
Me and my buddy, we making all of this money. Yeah, I know it's rude to be bragging. They never catching us slacking. Me and my buddy, we working hard for this money.